What's up, superhero fans out there? Troy to the Max Extreme here.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
Together, we fly into infinity as IMPERIUS REX.
So, Troy.
Yes, Dave?
Today, this last year, I don't know if you remember 2020. Do you remember 2020?
Oh boy, do I. It wasn't that great.
No. So, I made it a personal mission to give you some uplifting reads. Get your spirits back up.
You
we
did.
had some health issues.
I did.
Barely made it out.
Luckily, I'm still here. Yeah.
So I handpicked a couple really good, awe-inspiring reads that I thought you would get a kick out of.
Yes.
And I really hope you don't tell me that, I didn't like them that much, Dave. Because a lot is riding on this for my own personal self-esteem.
Yeah, right.
But one of those books is Kurt Busiek, Brent Anderson, with help from Alex Ross himself.
That's right.
Talking about Astro City. We're going to talk about that today. So this was originally published by Image Comics, of all people. Back
really?
in
Not Wildstorm?
Got bought up by Wildstorm.
Oh, okay.
But Image kicked it off in '95, moved on to DC and Vertigo for a bit, and right now it's kind of like in limbo. I guess it's still technically DC, but I've heard rumors it might be moving itself back to Image. Because you can't get this right now.
No, I know.
It's out of print.
I've wanted to start this book for the longest time because I heard it's your straight up, great written superhero fare.
It's comic
like
fans'
bread
comic.
and butter.
Yes.
Yeah, I love this type of shit.
Golden and Silver Age wonder and awe.
And if you are able to find them, they're either ridiculously expensive or you just can't.
Yeah.
I was
completely negates the first point.
I was lucky enough to find the first 3 trades on eBay.
My word.
From 3 different sellers and got all 3.
Couldn't even save on shipping.
I could. Nope. The shipping was more than the book, surprisingly enough.
Word.
But yeah, it was.
If this isn't enough reason to get your ass in gear and seek these out, he just paid 3 separate shipping costs.
You kidding?
So I thought I had them all because I went through a similar process. I tracked them down. They were re-released by Vertigo a couple years back.
Okay.
But only certain volumes.
Okay.
So I got what I could. I tracked down the last ones. I'm like, all right, good. I got it. Whatever else happens, I've got Astro City. And then in research for this show, after I reread the first volume, I'm like, so I just want to make sure I have all these. I'm missing the last 3.
Oh boy.
So I look for them. You cannot get them.
It's weird that I
They're
can
unattainable.
find the first 3, but not the last 3.
No, I don't even know if they went to softcover. They might have just been hardcover and then gone.
Oh boy.
So I am crossing my fingers that Image gets their hands on these and they just put out a really beautiful collection.
That would be amazing. It would. The OCD person in me would hate that they have a bunch of different spines on them.
But the normal person would just be happy to read that.
I would also be very happy to I would put them on its own shelf space where they have Wildstorm, Vertigo, whatever.
Astro City.
Yeah, that's right.
So we took our tour into Astro City. What'd you think? How'd you enjoy your journey?
Dave, thank you for having us read this.
You're welcome.
It really...
You're welcome.
It really fixes the problem with Neonomicon or whatever you had us read.
There's so many. I mean, pick one.
But yeah, this is stuff that's right up my alley. But to be fair though, it wasn't exactly what I expected.
Oh.
I knew that they were taking plays off your Supermans, your Batmans, and all that kind of stuff, putting a new spin on it and doing whatever you want because it's his own title.
Yep.
But what I thought was going to happen is let's say the Samaritan, who is the Superman in this universe. I thought that first trade was going to be all Samaritan stuff, a little short, 6 issues, whatever, go on to the next Batman or whoever, and go that route. But it doesn't. Nope. Every issue in this book deals with a different story. Some characters return, but it's all one-shots.
Yeah, I would say it isn't so much about a character as it's about fleshing out the city itself. The first volume is all about giving you a good bird's eye view of what Astro City is all about. And I really like that. I thought that was refreshing.
Yes. Yeah.
Where, like, even if you're reading one and it might not be your favorite one,
Mm-hmm.
you're like, well, see what the next one has.
Right.
Because they introduce, they drop you right in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you kind of, like, pick up on different things. There's a lot of mystery left. You're like, who's this guy? What happened to them?
Yep.
But you get engulfed in the entire spirit of this universe.
Yes.
And I feel like this was such a great encapsulation of, like, the Golden and Silver Age comics that we talked about, where I wanted to liken it to Robert Kirkman's Invincible universe.
Okay.
Because that kind of came to mind, like, how many different teams and characters.
Yeah.
Where I almost feel like the Invincible universe could have been, like, the 90s, 2000s version of Astro City. Like, if it just evolved in there.
Yeah,
like, along with comics.
Yeah, I get that. The book is, you said, like, even your least favorite issue in this, like, is still good because it fleshes out this whole universe that they're building.
Mm-hmm.
And I would even say, like, my least favorite issue isn't even a bad issue.
Yeah.
Like, it's still good. It's just like, oh, I wanted more. Like, there's one, per se, where it's just about a bad guy, like a burglar in this.
Yeah.
And it's centric about him finding out the identity of a said superhero. And so it was like a route I didn't expect this book to take right after I got done with the Samaritan issue or whatever. I'm like, oh, what are they doing here? And it threw me off guard, but by the middle of that issue, I'm like, I really like this.
Yeah.
It shows, like, the paranoia of, like, the crime, the low-level crime in Astro City.
Yeah, yep. He discovers this superhero's secret identity. He isn't sure if the hero saw him, and he's just facing this dilemma of, like, what do I do with this information? Should I, like, sell him out to these other, like, mobsters?
Right.
But every scenario he envisions ends up just completely wrecking him until, like, he doesn't know what to do, and he's like, I guess I'm just gonna leave town. And he just hightails it out of there. Yeah, it's like he just stumbled on this gold, but he can't, like, spend it.
Yep.
Did you read the foreword on this by Kurt Busiek?
I did, but I don't...
talks about their inspiration for this.
I don't remember much of it, but I did read it, yeah.
I thought it was interesting that, like, Kurt Busiek and Alex Ross, because of their Marvel's work, are often referred to as, like, you know, they tell, like, the real world superheroes and everything. And in that intro, he says flat out, like, I don't like that because I don't love real world scenarios and superheroes. Right. I just like fleshed out fantastical things, but from kind of like a man on the street perspective.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is. All of it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
None of it is like real world superhero.
Right.
But it's like, but what would it be like for an average person to live in this fantastic city?
Yeah.
Which is a very unique take that I don't think a whole lot of comic books do.
I don't know. No, not at all. Because, like, if you go even to, like, the Ultimates universe that they had, like, it was taking, like, a grounded... When it started, it took a grounded look at superheroics, right? Where it's, like, all, like, red tape and...
Yeah, government bureaucracy.
Yeah, all that kind of shit. And it's like, it was good in the time it came out, and maybe it still is good now if you revisit it, some of it. But, like, this is, like, your fantastic superhero universe... Crazy shit's happening all the time, and people are just living in it.
Yeah.
Like the one of the issues where this woman grows up in, like, the slum part of the town.
Shadow Hill.
And it has their own, like, superhero niche community with, like, the Hangman. Yeah. Who's, like, this freakish, like...
Like a scarecrow-looking guy that just floats around the city with a noose, like a noose on his neck.
And he's, like, a supernatural superhero, and she just lives in a thing like that, and everything's... Yeah. And everybody seems to be fine with it.
Yeah, her dream is to kind of, like, get out of that area and go to the big city. Mm-hmm. And then in that issue, it's all about her kind of coming to terms with, like, I don't think I really like this. I don't feel at home or comfortable in Astro City. I'm at home at Shadow Hill. This is where I'm going to set up shop.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of the issues, at least in this first volume, are all just from different perspectives of the average person. Mm-hmm. The second issue is actually the one about the new reporter and his editors telling him. I think the third one's the thug.
Yeah.
But the second one is from, like, a newspaper man and how he spent his whole career, like, following the supers. Mm-hmm. It kind of brings to mind, like, Phil Sheldon from Marvel's a bit. Mm-hmm. But, you know, he's telling this fantastic story, but they still live in a fairly real world where it's like this insane thing happened, but he couldn't prove any of it. So, like, his story was just, like, what he could prove. And it was basically like a train was delayed.
Yeah.
when actually it was like the train was delayed because there was a shark on the tracks, and this giant shark monster came from another dimension, turned everyone into shark people, and then this big group of superheroes came and fought him.
Yeah.
But what he could report was just like, train was delayed, shark on the rails. So there are all these like kind of nice little slice of life stories, but through this fantastic superhero lens.
Yeah.
The one that kicks it off that immediately hooked me is the Samaritan story that you said, where it's all about the Superman character that dreams of just like effortlessly flying and relaxing and doing all this wonderful things that he's able to do.
Yeah.
When in real life, he's constantly rushing to different disasters all across the world. Like, he's got it timed out to the second. Like, oh, there's a forest fire here, and I gotta save this person from a mugger, and just back and forth. And it's, like, anxiety-inducing just reading it. You feel so bad for this guy. Yeah. And the only escape he has is, like, when he falls asleep and he can dream of flying uninterrupted. Yeah. Which is, like, heartbreaking for him. It's, like, this paradox of being Superman. Like, when can you actually enjoy yourself if you're always on call? Right. It's like, what a great idea to kick off this fantastic series. Yeah,
super strong issue. And then he comes back later on, him and like...
Winged Victory?
Yeah, like the Wonder Woman-esque type character or whatever.
Yes.
And have like a date.
Which you're both real nervous about.
Yeah, because like, don't have any time off for themselves, so they try to make some, while all the other heroes like, we got this, don't worry. You
guys go
have
enjoy
a night
yourself.
off or whatever, and then they just end up arguing with each other.
Yeah. Yeah, they have kind of differing ideals when it comes to heroism and, like, who to save, I guess. She's a very, like, feministic warrior woman. Yeah. And he's like, I'm just gonna save whoever. And she's like, well, you're already saving whoever. I need to stick up for the ladies. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's a cool idea of, like, these two different perspectives of how they can make a difference in the world. Right.
And the covers on this by Alex Ross.
Oh, God, if that doesn't capture your attention.
Are amazing. And not only did he just do the covers, he also helped design this whole universe as well.
Yeah, he did, like, all the character designs. And then Brent Anderson is the full illustrator on this. And he does commendable work on this as well. Like, so consistently good. The detail, I mean, he draws real-world people. Yes. But still manages to convey, like, the 60s and 70s fantastic awe of comics. Yeah, yeah. There's so many characters in this that are all, you know, like, these stand-ins for famous superheroes. Right. And some of them are, I mean, like, eventually you run out of names. Some of the names and some of these characters are so ridiculous.
Yes, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know if I hate this or love it. But there's just some of the goofiest characters in this.
One come to mind?
Several come to mind. I'm going to go through a list of a couple of these characters here. Some better than others. So, like, there's Maximilians, Cleopatra, Leopard Man, Kit Kat, Enforcer. The Bouncing Beatnik. Sounds like a Mike Allred character, actually.
It does.
Old Soldier. He's kind of like the Captain America one. Cracker Jack. More on him later. Jack in the Box. Winged Victory, as we said. The First Family, who is just straight up the Fantastic Four. And then the Honor Guard is essentially the Justice League. And I think there was a character named Jailbait. Am I wrong on this?
I don't remember.
I think there might be.
I read this a while ago.
Okay. It must have been the 90s influence in there.
Yeah.
So I think it's around issue 4 where we're fully introduced to the character of Cracker Jack, who is quite possibly the worst character in this book. And or the best.
Yes. He is the worst person, but the best character.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it, yeah. He's essentially Batmanuel from the tip.
Yes, he is.
And this story is from the perspective of this little old man that lives in this kind of crummy apartment. And his next door neighbor are these, like, really nosy, bickering old women. Yeah. They don't have a nice thing to say about anybody. He hates them. Right. But we find out he's actually like a sleeper agent, like this weird mantis alien from a race beyond the stars. Right. And he's here to decide whether or not to institute a strike on Earth. So he's just observing and reporting and everything. And all of a sudden, he encounters a superhero, Cracker Jack, who's just a piece of shit.
He is.
So their apartment starts fire, and Cracker Jack comes running in to save him, and they have some of the best dialogue here. As Cracker Jack's carrying him to safety, he says, "Hey, no knocking the hero off balance, Pops, especially when he's saving your life." And then the old man's internal dialogue is saying, "It was his own weight that made the floor give way, but I didn't correct him." By the time they get to safety, they're all standing outside the burning building, and Cracker Jack's like, "Well, until next time, everybody, I'm off to my lair." Right. And then the building explodes, and he turns and goes, "My record collection!" And he goes, gotta go. Just like speedballs off. So we find out he's actually just this kind of dumb jock that's living in the apartment there that all the ladies hated, but now they love because they think like, oh, it's Cracker Jack.
Yeah. I always liked that guy.
Yeah. But he has so many times where he just like blunders his way into these different situations and like just through sheer dumb luck comes out victorious. And the old man's always there, like, correcting him. He's just following him around town. "Another triumph for Cracker Jack. And not bad work, if I do say so myself." And the old man's watching him from a rooftop. He's like, "Not bad work. He's saved by chance and considers it victory. He congratulates himself." just shitting on him every chance. Then Cracker Jack ends up crossing paths with Jack in the Box. Yeah. And Cracker Jack says, "See if I don't get a lawyer for the unauthorized use of Jack." And the old man's like, "Jack in the Box debuted in 1964. Or 89. If one assumes the current one is a different man, he predates Cracker Jack by 2 years. Or 27. If anyone has a claim to the name, it's him." So after all this, somehow the old man is won over by Cracker Jack's spirit.
Right.
He's like, this guy, he just keeps on bouncing along despite all adversity. Right. You know what? I actually kind of like him. Right. And you know what? These humans aren't so bad either. Right. So he's like, Earth is fine. Right. They're good. Right. We're gonna get out of here. And as he's like just leaving, he stumbles across the old women.
The old biddies.
Yeah. Overhears them talking, and he's just like, "You know what? Strike! Send them in. We're gonna wipe this planet off the map." He just had enough of them.
But really, they are the worst.
They're terrible.
They really need to be wiped out.
Someone has to put a stop to them.
That's right. If I could touch on Cracker Jack again, I even love his his meetings with other heroes around the city. Yeah. He comes with like this female duo, like a Batman and Robin-esque type or whatever, and they're like on a stakeout, and he just like plops on the rooftop like, "Hey, what's going on out here, ladies?
What's up, ladies?"
And I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. We're trying to stake this out down here. Mind if I join in or whatever?" It's like, "No, actually, go away." Ends up jumping in anyway. Yep. Like, bumbles through the whole thing, and then like, "Please don't take credit for all this."
It's like, wouldn't dream of it.
Cut to him taking all the credit for it with the media and everything.
All in a day's work for Cracker Jack. Yeah, they helped out a bit, but I had it under control.
Oh my god, that's why I love this guy, because he's such a dope of a character, God, it's so good. So overall, Dave, Astro City will win. I'm gonna keep collecting as much as I possibly can of this. Yeah, it's a good one.
And it's a gamble if you can get a hold of it at this point. If you see Astro City, you snatch it up.
That's right. You don't let that slip from your greasy little fingers.
That's right. I think as it goes on, they are more story arc driven. Mm-hmm. I think this one just giving you a smattering of the city itself, and then I believe they're a bit more like character focused as they go. But I know like each book is about a different character, so you do still get a sampling of everything the city has to offer.
Righteous.
The next one, I believe, is kind of like a Batman and Robin type of character. Okay. So, yeah, I'm excited to see it through. Yeah. As far as I can take it.
So, yeah, Astro City, have you read it out there? Viewers, let us know.
Yeah, this is like one of those books that I always saw in Wizard.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
but didn't know anything about it.
Right.
And was like, yeah, it looks nice, but it's not Spider-Man.
Yeah, right. Our age-old thing we say.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one that I've wanted to read forever, and be like, I'll get that eventually, and then you wait too long and you can't.
It's gone. Yep.
But Astro City, leave your comments down below in our little comment basement down there. And thank you to all of our patrons out there who are through your continual support, keep these cameras rolling and the lights on.
That's right. Producers, all of you.
Oh, in your own right, the best producers we got.
That's right. If you want to support the show, you feel free to join our Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
We got some great rewards there that we dish out. Just cooked them up.
Mm-hmm.
Really good stuff.
Good stuff. Prime stuff. Premium stuff.
Premium merch. Also gets you access to our Discord where we just BS all day long.
That's
Feel
right.
free to jump in there. And we do a monthly book club.
Mm-hmm.
So get on that if that's your bag, baby.
But until next time, I'm Troy to the bag extreme.
Oh!
But until next time, I have been.
Do it one more time.
Okay. But until next time, I have been Troy to the Max Extreme.
And I've been Ghost Hunter Dave.
And we have been Imperius Rex.
And you are now leaving Astro City.
Together, we fly into infinity as Imperius Rex.
I thought you were going a Toy Story route there.
Nope.
We can talk about Toy Story.
Let's talk about it.
All right. So, what about toys that aren't sentient? What do you make of that? Like a Frisbee.
Yeah. Does that get up and walk around? Because
I hope not.
Slinkies come to life, don't they? I mean, there's a Slinky,
Slinky
dog.
Maybe it needs a face.
It needs a face. Now I'm trying to think
Eyes,
of like Sid's
window to
toys
the
with
soul.
like headless stuff.
Oh man, there's plenty.
I know.
He was a butcher.
He was a piece of shit, that Sid.
Oh my god.
I think he turned his life around though. Became a garbage man.
Yep.
That's what I hear.
Working class.
Yeah, that's right.
He's giving something back to
Real
society.
blue collar shit.
Yep.
This isn't going in, is it?
Might. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean,
we can kind of wrap it up.
I think I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Nope, it was a fleeting thought. Didn't make any sense. Okay.